Welcome to the President's Diary, where we take a look at His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali's week of activities. On Sunday, President Ali turned the sod for the construction of a €149 million pediatric and maternal hospital along the East Coast Demerara corridor. The future low-rise facility is set to be constructed at plots 7 and 8 Plantation Good for Wacton, East Coast Demerara. The modern hospital will have 256 beds and will cover some 24,000 square meters gross floor area. At the groundbreaking ceremony, His Excellency stressed that bilateral relation is critical for the development of any country. The President affirmed that the standard Guyana is adopting will position the hospital to be a traffic driver for services regionally and internationally.
The standards we're adopting here would position this hospital to be a traffic driver for regional services too in the Caribbean. You would have heard me saying that whatever we are developing is for regional prosperity. So our cardiac center, our center to deal with cancer, our center to deal with research and development, are positioned with standards and infrastructure that will make it the one to go to destination in terms of regional traffic. And when I say regional here, it's also integrated into the diaspora, because there's many service, and this is a part of the conversation we have to take on with the US and Canada and the UK, how we can support the diaspora, even with the monthly medical benefits and the subsidy that they receive from their government. If we can provide it at a cheaper cost, then it can be a bilateral relationship that shares health and education services beyond the shores.
President Ali on Emancipation Day, August 1, delivered the feature remarks at a cultural event hosted at Stelling Road, New Amsterdam, Region 6. The head of state reaffirmed his administration's commitment to working with all Guyanese to develop a better country.
I say to you, my doors is open, the government doors is open. Let us have the conversation in lifting you up and lifting all Guyanese up. That is what real conversation is about. I can sit in any room and listen to any message. Whether the message is aimed positively or negatively, I will listen, because I believe that we can only succeed if we are together, if we are one Guyana, if we uplift each other, if we support each other, if we walk with each other, if we talk with each other, if we embrace each other.
The President lauded the contributions of Afro-Guyanese to society, noting that their contributions in various sectors are invaluable. He then highlighted his administration's development plans.
All across this country, my commitment is the same for every single Guyanese. That is why today, in Region 10, we have the biggest housing program ever in the history of Guyana unfolding in Region 10. The Gold Scholarship that we launched, we are challenging anyone to check the records. Look at the recipients of the Gold Scholarships. Look at the recipients of the house lots, and you will see the truth that every single Guyanese are beneficiary of that program. Yes, there is still a lot more to do, but we are going to do it together. All of us, in honor of our ancestors, we are going to build every family together, because that is the only way we can progress together as one Guyana and one people.
Following his feature address, President Ali spoke directly to the youth, informing them of his government's plans to continue the development of sport facilities in the region.
Before the end of this year, we already went to the supplementary. You will see in both tracks, work commencing to give you a final product that you deserve. But further, let me tell you, further to this, you have already heard me said, we are working to give you in Berbice your first international stadium right here.
The 2 synthetic tracks on the cards the President referenced will be fully constructed at Linden and New Amsterdam. On the 2nd anniversary of the PPPC administration's return to office, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali issued a call for Guyanese to band together under the One Guyana umbrella to further advance the transformational agenda that will lead to the betterment of all Guyanese. In an address to the nation on Tuesday afternoon, the head of state, while reflecting on the fight for democracy, said he remains humbled by the confidence placed in his administration by the people to lead Guyana.
Together, we have already accomplished a lot. Together, we have overcome many challenges. The mere fact that I sit before you today is as a result of the collective will of the Guyanese people, not to allow a few to derail democracy, rob you of your rights, rob you of your fundamental right in placing that vote. It is the collective efforts of so many Guyanese from different walks of life, with the help of the international community and those who love democracy, love the rule of law, and love freedom, that has allowed us this opportunity to serve you.
Residents of Pigeon Island, East Coast Demerara, can soon look forward to major developments with the allocation of some $80 million for roadworks and other community enhancement projects. The announcement was made by His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, who led an outreach to the community on Tuesday.
These roads, we want to involve you in the development. We want you to take responsibility. So we are going to work in finding the technical skilled people in this community. And we're going to design a project in which we will give you a concrete service road in this community. The government, the engineers, and the community will work together. We'll hire people from right here in your community to be part of the development process.
The head of state noted that through a consultative process, 3 priority areas were identified for development in Pigeon Island: land regularization and upgrade of the roads and drainage networks. His Excellency on Thursday proposed a number of key factors for consideration by regional energy ministers and other stakeholders to develop a concrete plan that will see the transition to renewable energy use in an environmentally sustainable and economically viable manner. Dr. Ali was addressing the International Solar Alliance 4th meeting of the Regional Committee of the Latin America and Caribbean region, hosted at the Arthur Chung Conference Center, Liliendaal.
To understand that the world is in transition. And transition means that there is a gap that needs to be filled. And what fills that gap is a question that we must answer. How do we fill that gap? What is the cost of filling the gap? What is the most sustainable way of filling that gap until the world can transition to the position we want it to be? Those are important elements of any discussion we must have. We must not fool ourselves that the transition is a cheap process. We have not mastered the technology, nor have we been able to demonstrate from a financial and economic model that any singular transition application is sustainable in the long run. There are many questions asked today about solar. Where is the supply of batteries coming from? What is the replacement cost of the batteries? What is the environmental damage in dumping those batteries? And how do we work on recycling those batteries? What will be those challenges when it comes before us? Let us use these forums to advance those discussions.
Meanwhile, President Ali also called on the energy ministers to consider hydrogen as the renewable source of the future.
We cannot have this conversation without putting hydrogen as a separate opportunity for the future and then examine that potential of hydrogen, because hydrogen is the future. Let me be very clear on this. I'm sorry to disappoint you guys, but hydrogen is the future. And we have to start designing a strategy that looks at green hydrogen and how that is formulated. Because the reality is, if hydrogen is in the future, and the financial implication is that banks and the international community is willing to finance hydrogen against solar, then unfortunately it's the death of solar. This is the reality. If the world moves into a direction that we're going to push hydrogen, then the financing from hydrogen has to come from somewhere. And if hydrogen is the preferred investment for sustainable energy and for renewables in the future, then definitely the type of resources behind solar will not be there. It's the reality, it's an equation. We can't advance all the renewables at the same time. So this is the type of hard questions that we have to answer. I'm not saying that is the answer. I'm saying that is one suggestion.
His Excellency said he wants the Guyana Defense Forces Air Corps to be the premier air corps in the region. The Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces made a statement on Thursday afternoon while addressing the ranks of the Air Corps hangar at Timehri.
This must be the go-to air corps for any country in the region seeking training or seeking to build their capacity. That's the first thing. The second thing is that Air Corps Guyana is not Air Corps GDF. Air Corps Guyana will be Air Corps Guyana. This will now be the new training ground for people who will transition into civil aviation in the future, having a technical skills, a technical capability. This has to be the premier institution. Our standards are no longer GDF standards. We are going to build the standards to be the best in class.
An action plan, the President noted, is being crafted to ensure that the existing gaps are filled. He emphasized that the Air Corps must be the best partner to the Civil Aviation Authority.
I want us to move on 3 pillars. 1, an academy. I think today you guys had a discussion with the cadet, the Air Cadet. So 1 is an academy and development program. That program we can integrate with our scholarship program. We can integrate with our national training program. And that program now will be integrated with a regional program. Right? So I must go to the heads of government and say to them that we have a 1-year plan on bringing our Air Corps to this level. And I want a commitment from you that you're going to use us for all your training.
The President spoke about the possibility of having a military-operated commercial arm of the unit and the equipment needed for such a direction.
We go the direction of the commercial arm, how we want to structure it. Should it be only for emergency rescue missions? Should it be for national support? Should it be for movement of goods and services? That decision we have to make, because in building what I'm imagining has to be built will require a lot of resources.
National Security Advisor Captain Jerry Gavaya, Chief of Staff of the GDF Brigadier Godfrey Best, and other government officials and senior ranks and officers of the GDF and the Air Corps were also at the event. On Friday, President Ali met with world-famous yoga guru and spiritual master Sadhguru at State House. During the engagement, the President said the government of Guyana is committed to supporting the global Save Oil movement. He told Sadhguru that Guyana is willing to work towards becoming the home of the Save Soil movement and is committed to providing land to start a pilot project. Sadhguru is accompanied by world-renowned soca artist and ambassador of the movement, Machel Montano. The President on Saturday delivered remarks at the 4th anniversary celebration of the Buxton Friendship Museum, Archives and Cultural Center, Inc. in Buxton on the east coast of Demerara. President Ali said his vision is for Buxton to become the breadbasket for food production in the country.
Right now, as I speak to you, we're working on a number of initiatives since the last meeting here to bring economic empowerment, improve livelihood. I've already tasked the Minister of Agriculture. He has outlined a clear pathway on developing the farm-to-market road, on developing the drainage canals. And I said to him, we must work, as my brother from the School of Entrepreneurship said, we must work to make Buxton a breadbasket of food production. We must include the young people. I challenge him. Let's get the farmers to come together.
The head of state also highlighted the many contributions of Afro-Guyanese to the development of Guyana. This has been the President's Diary, where we took a look at His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali's week of activities. Thank you for watching, and do join us again next week.